What's up? This is Dan, and in this video, you're gonna do a circuit that's designed for fat loss, and believe me, it's gonna melt your body fat away, but also help you with muscular endurance and strength, and all you really need is a yoga mat and a tiny little kettlebell. I recommend 12 kilograms for men and 8 for women. That's 26 and 18 pounds. Let's get started.
All of the exercises in the circuit are grouped together in a specific order, aiming mostly for fat loss. You'll start with the easier variations at first, followed by more challenging moves once you're warmed up a bit. I'll make sure and list everything in the end of the video so that you don't have to write anything down. For the first exercise, we're going to do something called around the body. And as the name suggests, quite literally, you're just passing that kettlebell clockwise around your body for 10 reps, followed by counterclockwise for 10 more. It's really important to engage the core, or transverse abdominis to be exact, and also your lats, or your back muscles that stabilize the shoulders. They prevent the shoulders from going up to the ears. Once finished with 10 repetitions on both sides, I want you to pick up your right foot. We're gonna do 10 reps in each direction on the left foot, followed by the right as well. Working on a little bit of balance and equilibrium. And it's perfectly fine to put the foot down if you can't maintain it up in the air the entire time. Remember, this is just a warm-up. You're just getting started. Keep your shoulder blades pinched back and keep your core engaged. That's the most important thing for this exercise. For the second exercise in the sequence, let's take a look at the one-arm swing. If you're not familiar with a kettlebell swing, it's really important to realize that all the power, everything comes from the hips. It may look like I'm using my arm to lift the weight up, but nothing can be further from the truth. The arm is completely relaxed. It's basically just holding on to a weight, and my hips and my torso are doing all of the work. Let me know if you guys are interested. I can make a video on how to swing properly. Just comment below. I'll be more than happy to teach you guys how to do a proper kettlebell swing. Next, let's take a look at a squat. I call this the uni squat. Uni is a Hawaiian word for sea urchin. It stands for unilateral loading. Uni is so much friendlier to say. Basically, the concept is that one side of the body stabilizes while the other one strengthens. And so making this exercise a little bit more challenging than if you had that weight centered in the middle of the body. We'll do 10 exercises or 10 repetitions per arm. Make sure when you're squatting to keep your knees nice and strong. Push them out slightly. Keep your core engaged. Keep inhaling on the way down and exhaling on the way up. Now, let's look at the shoulder press. Once again, it's kind of important to engage your core here. Your glutes are doing most of the work, believe it or not. But I also want you to engage the lats, the big muscle group underneath your arm, the back muscle. It holds the shoulder down. It prevents the shoulder from coming up. It's imperative to keep that shoulder from as far away from the ear as possible. Once again, it's 10 repetitions per side. As a matter of fact, for all of these, you'll do 10 reps per side. I should probably mention that I am moving a little bit faster pace here. Usually, I like to keep everything 2 to 3 seconds in each direction. But this is a fat loss circuit, so as long as your form is good, feel free to speed up a bit. Now let's combine the previous 2 exercises into a squat and press. This is a very dynamic, ultra-functional exercise. It's one of my favorites because it doesn't require that much skills. All you need to do is know how to press and squat and keep your core together. But believe it or not, it takes a lot of effort, which means you'll get a lot more out of it, while the risk of injury is still minimal. Core nice and strong, keep your knees strong, keep your shoulder low, and go through the motions, inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. Now it's time for yoga salutations. We're gonna do 2 at a time, inhaling as you look up and exhaling during the forward fold all the way down. Here we're going to inhale as you look forward and exhale as you're stepping back into upper push-up position. Inhaling into upward facing dog. And now we're gonna exhale into downward facing dog. And here's where the sweat storms start. Isn't it nice? You're working on flexibility, yet your fat loss is through the roof at the moment. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, lower your head all the way down. Inhale, come back up as you bring your arms over your head, and exhale, hands back down to your sides. And we're gonna do one more. Inhale, look up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look forward. And stepping back on exhalation into an upper push-up position. Inhale, up dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. And here I typically hold this position for 5 breaths. But mostly I just focus on what feels good. And when the time comes to step forward, I inhale. And then lower my head down as I exhale into a forward bend. And inhale, come up, hands meeting overhead. Exhale, hands back down towards the hips. All right, let's get into the second part of the circuit. Now the moves are going to become a little bit more challenging, starting with hand-to-hand swings. Here, it's important to notice how my hips are only moving backwards and forwards. They're not moving left and right. But now notice at the upper body, how it's rotating. I'm not shifting left to right, but I'm turning clockwise and counterclockwise. This is called a clean. The move is similar to the kettlebell swing. I'm moving my hips forward and then using the power generated by my core, by my hips, I'm guiding that weightless kettlebell back up to my hand or the rack position. Please let me know if you like to know exactly how to do all these exercises. I'll be more than happy to make videos for every single one of these moves to ensure that you're doing them correctly. I know it kind of looks like I'm doing an arm curl of sorts, but nothing can be further from the truth. My arm is completely relaxed. The hand is just holding on to the handle of the weight of the kettlebell, and my hips are propelling the weight forward. It's all physics, very little bodybuilding involved. Now let's take it up a notch. We're gonna do a clean and press. All the power is generated from the lower body. I'm using my hips to clean here, and I'm also using my hips to push the weight up. Once again, it looks like my arm is pushing it. It looks like I'm doing that press from the previous section. But nope, it's my glutes, my hips, my legs are pressing the weightless kettlebell up. The only thing my arm is doing is I'm locking my elbows so that the bones are holding onto the weight and not the muscles, so I can do this for a prolonged period of time without getting tired. And obviously, once you do 10 with the left, we're gonna switch over to the opposite side and do 10 with the right as well. The way you know you're doing the kettlebell exercises correctly is if it feels more or less weightless. You should never really feel the weight of the kettlebell. Now here comes one of my favorite exercises of all time, kettlebell snatch. I used to say that snatching and kettlebell is similar to sprinting with weights, but I actually read a study recently that said that the only thing that burns more calories than the kettlebell snatch is cross-country skiing up the mountain. It burns over 30 calories per minute, which is insane. And so the risk of injury does go up here. Once again, it may look like I'm raising the weight up with my arm. My hand is holding onto the weight. All the power comes from the hips, from the legs. And basically, I'm using technique to snatch it up so that the weight doesn't fall behind my head. It's all smooth, weightless, and effortless if done correctly. But what's gonna cause me to lose even more body fat than the snatch, believe it or not, is yoga. Once again, take a deep breath in. As you inhale, look up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, step back into upper push-up position. From there, inhale into an upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. One of my favorite parts of combining yoga with fat loss circuits is that you can actually melt your fat away while working on your flexibility. It's like 2 for the price of 1. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, lower your head all the way down. Come up, hands touching over your head, really right above the sternum, and exhale, hands down to the hips. And let's do it one more time. Inhale as you look up, and exhale on the way down. Take a deep breath in as you look forward. And breathe out as you step back into upper push-up position. Inhaling into upward facing dog. And exhaling into downward facing dog.
It's not hard to stay in shape all year round. That was what, 10, 15 minutes? I'll help you. Subscribe. Stay tuned. This is Dan Kayser, reminding you to live Pono and train with Aloha.